So, my name is Tyler, and I work for Missouri Star Quilt Company, and we are based out of Hamilton, Missouri. It's a small town, small population of maybe 1,500, and I'm just going to be kind of talking about the aspects of it, kind of what runs the sales, the brief history of it, and just how well we connect with our clients or customers. So let's get started. So how it all got started was there was a family-owned business. So Ron and Jenny Doan lived out in California, and they moved to Hamilton, and they had 7 kids at the time. Let's see. Ron worked as a mechanic for the Kansas City Star newspaper. He kind of worked on their machines, and when the market crashed, some of their kids was worried about their retirement fund, because obviously when the market crashed, it all their Social Security and all that kind of stuff, wasn't very much. So who started it was Sarah and Alan, as pictured here on the slide. They're both of her kids, and that's Jenny pictured there. And they started it back in November 2008. Basically, she liked to quilt, and so they bought her a long arm quilting machine, and they also purchased a building here in Hamilton, where as just kind of another extra cash flow, she would work on people's quilts and have them quilted for them. Then they got the bright idea of selling, a couple more, like selling lines of fabric and notions that she used, and templates and that kind of stuff. After that kind of started picking up, Al, he went to school for computer information systems and that kind of stuff. So he was really familiar with technology. So he got the bright idea to use social media, and their big thing was YouTube. He started filming his mom, Jenny there, and she was doing tutorials and teaching people how to quilt. And that's kind of how they have such a huge fan base. So, I mean, their history is pretty extensive, and to cover it all in less than 10 minutes is hard to. If you ever get the chance, I would recommend going to their website and going to the About Me page, and you can learn all about it. So it started off with just 5 of them, just family members there that just worked, because they wasn't, expecting it to grow like it did. So for a couple years, no, just for a year, there was just 5, and then in 2010 they grew to 8 people working there, 11, 18, 29 in 2013. Then it just kind of starts to jump here in 2014 to 2015. That's a huge increase. That's 102 employees that they employed there. And then today, there's 223. There's probably more than that. That's about the only number that I could get from one of the owners here, because they hadn't done a head count at the time. So just seeing how a business that just started off and growing, in the past 7, almost 8 years now, it's kind of amazing to watch it. So now we're going to kind of get into the marketing, the different types and examples. As I said before, they had used YouTube as a huge push for products, because Jenny would use just different kinds of fabric, and then when people watched them, they're like, ooh, well, we want to use that same fabric. So that's kind of how they wanting to started selling fabric and templates and that kind of stuff, because other people wanted them. So another example is they had the Block magazine. Block magazine is one that they created, and it just has examples of quilts, and it has how much fabric you need for the border, or how much, or what kind of template do you need, or how much binding does a person need, and it taught them, along with having our tutorials. All the tutorials are also in these block magazines, and they really blew out of the sky there with subscriptions. And a lot of magazines didn't like that we had our own and selling for only $5.95, and it's more like a book than a magazine. And just the subscriptions and for buying these block magazines have just grown, and they continue to grow. That's another great drive of sales that we have. Alright, so they also did this other marketing promotion. It was called the Golden Star. We kind of took Willy Wonka, and we kind of made it into our own little quilt, a quilt wonderland kind of thing. And it was really interesting to watch. So what you see here is these are the revenue. I couldn't post numbers, but this is the revenue over time, over months, I believe. When we did this Golden Star promotion, here's our sales for this month, and we only ran it 1 month, and that's the sales that it drove. So that was a huge success on our side. Our marketing team is really great in pushing something like this. It's really great to watch it just continue to go, and every month, you know, it just keeps going up. There's fluctuations because obviously there are bigger months than others. I mean, there's off months and off seasons, just like any other business you have. So here's just some comparison between the 2014 high of orders shipped in a month, and we had 59,000. We broke that record last year at 95,000 orders shipped that month. That's a lot. So another one of our things that we offer, our services, is machine quilting, because obviously that's how it started. When Jenny bought that long arm quilting machine, they started quilting people's quilts in there. So then we have in here, I think there's 8 pictured there. We have quite a bit more now, but if you've ever seen it, it takes quite a bit of time, and the turnover is, on our side, it's actually pretty great. We can get somebody's quilt done within about 4 weeks, I believe. And if you go to other places, it could take almost 8 weeks or so. So that's how many quilts we had quilted in the year of 2014 compared to 2015. It almost doubled. Also, long arm quilting, it's one of our biggest sales. It's a huge portion of what they purchase, because fabric, you know, it's only like $9.95 a yard. Something to get something quilted, it's a lot more. It ranges anywhere from $80 all the way up to $500 just for one quilt, because people put that much work into them and make them that big or whatever. So then we'll kind of get started over on our connection with customers. So we have a customer service. We have about 2 storefronts. We have our online business, and then we have our shops, you know, here in Hamilton. And the way that we set it up in the shops in Hamilton is we have to get personal with them, because it's a small town, so we kind of acquired that small town, you know, being nice to, you know, whoever. I mean, I think we should do that anyways, but in small towns you see that a lot more. So being in a small town like this, we had to, it just kind of makes you more friendly towards people. So then here's another comparison on our site visits, and they just grow exponentially from when a year after they started, had 32,000 visits, and that's good for just being on the web for 1 year. And then you get all the way up here to November of last year, and that is 2 million views there. That's in a 7-year span. We get 2 million views in one year. It's been pretty good. So another thing that we connect with them is we have partners with us too. We have Man Sewing with Rob Appel. He has his own YouTube channel and teaches a different style of quilting. Then we have Crafty Gemini. She does more of the crafting kind of side. That way that Missouri Star appeals to everyone, and not just the quilter, but we have the crafts, we have the artsy kind of quilting. Just something for everyone there. We've also been, we don't do advertising, really. We've been on NBC, the Wall Street Journal, the Kansas City Star, MSNBC. We've been the headlines on most of those. And here's a couple more. There's Inc., there's Today, there's Fox 2 News, Entrepreneur Magazine, and you can just look at all these. Missouri Star has been listed in every single one of these. And that's kind of how people get to know us. We got a award for Small Business of the Year, I believe, is what it was called, a couple of years ago, I think. So that also, we've seen a little burst of activity there. So then we also take advantage of our social media, because in today's age you have to stay up to date, because that's what everybody else is doing. So we started on YouTube from the past from 2014 to 2015. There's a huge increase in subscribers. Same with Facebook. We have that. These numbers continue to grow every day, so they're probably not even accurate as I speak. But just watching how far it grows in just 1 year is overwhelming. So that's just kind of how Missouri Star is. They know how to market something that you would never think that would be possible to market, like quilting. There's a lot of people that just don't know exactly how quilting works or what exactly it is, and is that something you can even start a business. Obviously it is, because we have offices and everything worldwide. With YouTube and our online orders, we get shipments, and we ship stuff out to people all around the world, like Australia and London and Japan and all of this. So it really, our audience is on a global scale at this point, and just in 7 years, and it's going to be really awesome to be a part of that and see where it goes from here. Thank you for listening.